himself. But before I even do that, he mentioned wealth. And he mentioned you invested. What did you invest in? Because I want to, that's about 50% profit. I want to know. What do you invest in?
The secret.
The secret. I want to know. Because really, if you consider the environment of investment and somebody tells you to invest in a T-bill or a fixed deposit. Now, you know, what's the difference between a fixed deposit and a T-bill? Show by hand if you know. What's the difference between a fixed deposit and a T-bill? Show by hand if you know. Yes, right. But beyond 91 days, if you're doing like 192, that's when you're doing about 23% in rates. Even that is still dropped a bit. So it's not correct. But good attempt. Yeah. How many of you know the annual turnover of a company in Ghana? Show by hand if you know the annual turnover of a company in Ghana. Say Casapreco. Who knows the turnover of Casapreco? Show by hand. How many are business students? Show by hand. Business students. Tell me the turnover of Casapreco. You know that by law they are required to publish their account. Have you studied the account? Have you taken one to study? So if you want to change the narrative of leadership on the continent, one of the key ways is the information that will amass to do that. Now, if you invest in a T-bill because of what he said, right? And the rate is 18% or 16%, that's 16% per annum. So if you're doing, let's say, a 91-day treasury bill, that's the, how do you call it, the 16% divided by 12. And so if you're doing 3 months, then it's the rate per the 3 months that gives you the return on investment, 2 or 4. So if you divide 12 by, you divide 16 by 12, what do you get? Whatever rate you get, let's even say it's a 2 or it's a 1.5 or it's a 0.5, you multiply it by 3 to give you the rate you get. So in 3 months, actually getting coins on your investment. So I don't see why people invest in T-bills. Now, the difference between T-bill and the commercial, the fixed deposits, that fixed deposits are set by the banks themselves, the commercial banks. So that's why their rates are high. That's why I agree with you. So, then the treasury bill rate is determined by the central bank when they determine the prime rate. How many of you know what the current prime rate is? Show by hand. How many know what's the prime rate? Huh? How do you know? If government sets the prime rate at 23.5, then interest rates will be at 35-40%. Because it is the prime rate that determines the T-bill rate, that determines all the corresponding rates. So they can't do so. By the way, the government has reduced the prime rate by 200 basis points. What are basis points for you? Oh, am I asking too many questions? I'm not like, I'm just picking up what he said for us to move on. So, knowledge will empower us for leadership. But I had another man talk about changing the education system. Sure, by somebody said we need to change the education system. It was you, same man. I'm interested in the solution that you have for Ghana. What is the solution that you have for Ghana? To change the, I've been hearing it a lot. Since I was a kid, 5 years, I change the education system, change the education system. How do you change the education system? I dare you. Give us an answer.
Okay. I think that the educational system should be more practical.
Forget that statement. Make it practical. How? Incubation like this. No. The universities themselves must do that. The universities themselves must do that. So every university must have an incubator. That's why I'm happy that Care University has one. The Kumasi Poly also has one. Does the University of Ghana have one? But the University of Ghana has a career in counseling. There must be an incubator. Because here you have academia that is rich in resource and knowledge to help you boost your business idea. So now let's come back to the issue of leadership that we're here to discuss. Let me see if I have some words for you on that. So, are you ready? Are you ready? Yes. Are you ready? Yes. Good. So, we've often heard a lot of things about Africa, and you hear a lot that we have bad governance, we have bad leadership, and if you look at the general structure, they say we have bad governance. True or false? But if you look at history and you look at pre-democracy, and you had Greece, right, which is supposed to be the birth of democracy. Within that was where democracy was born, and they had council meetings here and there, and people were meeting. They thought that then grew to become the form of democracy. But before that, we had the chiefs in Africa, true or false. We had our own system. We had our own system. And you see, never in history has there been a united force for such a revolution of independence than it happened in Africa. True or false? In the West, they fought their own wars. It was Russia against this against that against that. In Africa, it was a call by leading figures like Nelson Mandela, like Kwame Nkrumah, like Julius Nyerere, all these people, not in isolation, but with a common purpose, together, Ubuntu as one. So really, if you want to look at the history of leadership, it's from Africa. We are the cradle of leadership. We showed them the way in leadership because we had our own system. But what has changed? What has changed? I'm going to try and share that with you in my presentation. So I'm a bit tired, so I'll take my time with it. You don't mind, right? You don't mind. What has changed in Africa? So many problems, I won't cite any of them. But if leadership can change that, what form of leadership will change Africa? There's so many forms of leadership. I'm not here to tell you about that. There's one called thought leadership. How many know what thought leadership is? Thought leadership. Thought leadership. Thought leadership. Show my hand. Wow. It's when you are an authority in a specific field. So some of you, to aspire to be leaders, need to pick one specific sector and say, I want to dominate this sector. You see, if you look at history again, now the first period of history was about wars, right? It was about wars. It's about wars. Now the second period of history was about coup d'etats and toppling governments, because then we had moved from industrialization into agrarian societies, and now we were thinking how we capture wealth. So the history of wealth creation said that people had wealth, families had wealth, and some few people thought that let us take all these things from these people and own the factors of production. And so that's really the history of wealth. Otherwise, then the rest that we have now are you make money from past income, from income producing assets, or really from a network that you have based on social capital. So let's come back to what we're talking about. So the first period was really about war. Second period was about coup d'etats. Guess what the future is about? Who can tell me what the future is about? Now some more water. Who can tell me what the future is about? Try. What's the future about? The future is about ideas. Because for all the problems we face in Africa, there's a solution waiting in one of you to do so. But how do you get that solution? What inspires us? What gives you that gift to inspire? What gives you that gift to lead? What gives you that gift to create? Now, when we were talking right now, I was chatting with Bernard and I said, Bernard, open a scripture for me before I start. How many of you know have Bibles here? On your phone or something? Show my hand. Please, one person open First Peter 4 verse 10. Another person open 1 Corinthians 12 verse 4. Let's look at something before we start. Sorry, I'm just warming up. Are we okay? Are you learning something? Yes. Oh, I can't get a Bible. Are you learning something? Yes. What should I stop?
1 Peter chapter 4 verse 10. As each one has received a gift.
So, the Bible never said that some people are blessed, others are not blessed. Each one of you has received a gift. It said may receive a gift. So to influence, there must be something that you carry. Are you following? So each one of us has a gift. And so are there many other gifts, so you need to find that true gift. Good. And God reversed the curse. So that happened with Jacob 20 years after Esau. And so many others. And you see, God does not use simple men. You can't sit here. I know a man, a friend of mine called Randy in Pabedia. I can't even know him. That's my mentor, one of my mentors. This guy buys a car on loan, goes to church, and the pastor says, "So seed," he drops the car. You only pay 15% on the car. Drops the car key. What kind of faith is this? You have an office in Regiment or a grey estate, and every employee that you have, you rent a house for him. How? In Ghana, there's a level of grace we need to get to. But to get to that level, you need to change some things in your life. You don't need to conform. We are not born to conform to this point. So the future really is about what you carry, the solution that you carry. If it was a business conversation, I told you about how to conceive the ideas, but this is about leadership. So, what you carry determines your level of influence, determines your leadership potential. So there's political leadership, I won't go into that. There's societal leadership, there's family leadership, there's school leadership. But to assume the position of leadership is not based on what you carry. So, what do you carry? Let's look at it in the form of how we influence society with what we carry. We are all gifted. You have a gift, you have a passion, you have a skill. And which one of them can truly make you successful? Let's look at the next slide. So I start to understand that if you want to influence, you need to really understand what influence is. How many of you know what influence is? Show by hand. Don't look on my side. It's there. So Wikipedia and Co will tell you that influence is the capacity to have an effect on the character development that flows within you. So you determine what flows within you to influence your nature, and you determine what flows out to flow to influence you. Are you following me so far? I dive deeper. I realize that the word influence also has some roots in science. Fluence. Fluence means, who knows what fluence means? Fluence is particles. So it means that to influence, little things come together to form your character. To be a leader, so many things come together to make you a leader. Soft skills, hard skills, your people skills, your organizational skills, your decision-making skills. How many know what emotional intelligence is? How emotionally you react to things. Are you emotionally matured enough? So there's so many things that form the character. So fluence is particles. Now I went further to look at the word influence and I realized that there's something else. In Greek etymology, because I've already told you that leadership really itself predates before Christ. No, but then the structure itself, they're saying that from Greece. You know what? The Greeks had something they called an ethereal fluid. For them, influence was an ethereal fluid. And it flowed within them. So the gods had it. So if you're influenced, you carried something different. So they're killing themselves to get that thing. Now watch. Your level of friends or the people you are with determines what you get an understanding of influence. Really, how do you influence a society with all of these things that I've said? Next slide. Now, first is identify, there's this scripture about the Bible saying that he who builds without first calculating the cost, and who knows that scripture? There's a scripture like that. How can you go through life without a plan, without determining what your life goals are? Every birthday I set a plan for myself to achieve X number of things in one year. There's a man called Elon Musk. Elon Musk set out a 10-point plan. And America laughed at him. He immigrated from South Africa, Canada, then into the US. His 10-point plan was, I'll create a solar revolution. I'll create a car that drives on its own. Right? I want man to go to space. Right? And he says what again? Then he says that he's going to have an implant that makes you talk to your computer today. This year you want to buy ABC. And it's always, when you get money, the first thing you buy is a car. A friend of mine, when he got money, first thing he bought was a Maserati. Now when he bought it, he bought to church. His pastor saw him and said, "Hey, I'm not. Oh, you're fair. Do the right." Luckily for him, his white partner wanted to buy that car. So I'm investing in it. But the first car I bought was a deal from what? That car I regretted buying the car. But I was always in the workshop and I didn't have money to even service the car. Let everything that your hand touches multiply. That's my concept. So everything, I don't invest in clothes and stuff like that. Oh. Will it bring me money? If it will bring money, fine, I'll put money. It doesn't bring me that fulfillment, multiplication. Don't try. If we're going to change Africa, we need to find out our core focus now. I want to be the next biggest investor in Africa. That's a big dream. Some of you are thinking so small dreams, too small dreams. Look, I still play tapes of Kwame Nkrumah. It makes sense today. Why? People thought 10 years, 15 years from now. But all of us here, we're thinking about today, not tomorrow. It's a fact. Now we are thinking, Charlie, from here, what's he going to do? It's a fact. Now, ask yourself how you are going to get there. What key steps do you need to take to get there? Next slide. Am I making sense? Am I making sense? Now, you need to know your worth. Now, there's an inherent level of influence that comes with your environment and personality. Most of us, we start from different places. Me, I used to be in some one-bedroom boys' quarters. As Bernard used to come there. Just my bed and my TV in the corner. In fact, let me take you back. I was in Kaneshi where kids were not wearing shoes. Me, I didn't even know. As the first person in my immediate family to go to the university. So, the guys there were killing people. My own friends killing each other and stuff, smoking weed. So, I said, how was I going to make it from this point? Then somebody took me to East Legon. I went to live there. When I went and I saw the house, hey, boy, I forget some. Where? No. People are dreaming. Sometimes your environment needs to change for you to see things. But when environment changes, it's not that mindset must not be to look down on those things. It's to see that where you are can influence your starting point. So you may be poor, you may have nothing. When I was in school, I couldn't even buy textbooks. I had a law scholarship, I couldn't even buy lecture notes. When I was in Zenith first year doing admin, I couldn't even take a car to Zenith. I had to go and beg some uncle to give me money first. Before I now go, when I get down late. Lecturer just looks at me and says, Charlie, come and sit in the class. But the guy allowed that to give me a defeatist mentality. No, not me. Not me. That's what you need to tell yourself. Wherever you are today. Wherever my father is, I must be better. Do you understand the point? I can't be at the same level with my father. No. Whatever I must do it 3 times, 4 times. That's what you need to start thinking. No. Life goes beyond the certificate you are here to acquire. The experiences matter. Are you with me so far? Am I making sense to you? Yes. My father said something to me, you can't commit old mistakes. Africa has been committing old mistakes. There are so many policies, you must commit new mistakes. You saw your uncle smoke. And he died. He drank alcohol, he died. You see alcohol and you still embrace it. Am I making sense? Yes. Now, if you're confident in what you have to offer, it brings out your leadership potential. Because Bishop Oyedepo says something. He says that, look, you can't be influential by knowing something of a subject. No. You must know things. You must know deep things. You must dig deeper. Because when I meet you and you know the thing I know, you're on the same level. But when I know a little more than what you know, it carries, and that's thought leadership. So, your knowledge, experience, and passion will determine what you become and the level of influence. So me, I joined Model UN. I won best position paper, most influential delegate, just to build my skills. Because I thought I could be a diplomat. I went to Live FM, Vibe FM then, and I was a host of a program. I was actually program manager of Vibe FM some time back. I thought I could do human resource marketing, so I joined Mangara Hotel. I said I want to be a marketing and human resource assistant. Tried that. I wanted to gain knowledge because my family, we didn't have books. So I had to get into international school, applied as a library assistant, read almost all the books there, just to understand what was happening in the world. Guinness Book of Records, I kept reading it. Just to understand what was happening in the world. So many things just to ask myself, what is that one gift? Before I left university, I started working with the World Bank. No degree. I was telling Bernard before I came in that a Jewish company wants to invest in Ghana. And they stopped the deal about 4 times because they said they don't want to pay bribe to anybody. Can we be that kind of youth for the future? Can we be a corrupt-free Africa? You sign the deal. Where's my check? Oh, auditor cut the budget. But you told me that was auditor cut the budget. So you just signed for 295. We're too fake. We're too fake. Today we are like this, today we are like that, and nobody seems to know who you really are. So, can people see you as someone they can rely on? Can you execute tasks on time? Are you innovative in the workplace? What kind of leader do you want to be? Ask yourself that and exert it. Get role models. My area, when I was about 17, I said, let me set up some fun for them. So we're paying school fees for people that, I didn't have one. My brother's car was suffering. When I go around telling people that give us one city, we used to pay fees and organize church prayer. I never thought that one day I'll leave my father's house, buy a car, buy another car. I never thought I'll buy land. No. In the beginning it was just passion filled. But then it began to make sense by applying the principles. So I'm not there yet. Not at all. Find your level of influence. When you find out that gift that you carry by mad faith. You see, people who have done things for God, God chose madmen. I'm sorry, to do things for him. Because otherwise, how can somebody take a stone, a stick, hit a rock, and expect water to come out? It's mad faith. You know, that you don't understand. That's the future. That's the future. A man wanted to go to war, a king. And when he was going to war, he called about 200 of his people and said, should I go to war? Wherever you are, whether in Africa, in Asia, men will look for you. But you're going to find Baumia somewhere.